Say alright, so first and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kakodash. We said on our personal elders agreements on the rule, teachers of personal truth, and we see salutations for the outcomes that push you with no truth and sincerity, day in and day out, and constantly in season on season. We see Shalom. And once again, going into a video here, and that's basically touching upon, matter of fact, let me play.
And I was just, all of this shit started happening in my life when I started praying, bro. I swear to God. I swear to God. Everything started working out when I started praying. And I was just sitting reading and it just hit me like.
So as you can hear from in the video, he said, all this stuff started working out when he started to pray. Now it goes to show you the importance of praying, trusting in the Lord and believing, having that hope, right? But when I saw the video, a particular scripture come to my mind. A particular chapter came to my mind, which was the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 2, right? And I'll start from verse 1, right? It says, "My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. Set thy heart aright and constantly endure, and make not haste in the time of trouble." Right? Because, seeing the tears and hearing me talk about praying, it goes to show how important it is that we have to trust upon the Lord. And we have to constantly endure, no matter how hard things may get, no matter how hard things may be. And we know things are going to get hard, right? Especially when you're serving the Lord, because you're a man serving the Lord on a daily basis, right? And, you may be working, your job, your family, those things may be a fight unto you. It may be heavy sometimes unto you, your family. You say a man food could be of his own household, and all these things will be against it, right? So as it says, set thine heart aright and constantly endure. Constantly endure, and that is how it's supposed to be. Constantly enduring unto the end, no matter how hard it may seem, right? No matter how hard it may be, because again, as he said, all he did, he said, as I can see from the caption in the video, he said, all I did was pray. And it goes to show the importance of praying. And what, I might just do a part 2 to this video and go into how important it is to pray, right? But as I said, when I saw it the first time, this chapter came to my mind because it goes to show the importance of to constantly endure, right? And trusting in Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai. He may be, saying something else when it comes to the name, but I'm just using the video as a reference for, that inspiration to give to go to the verse, to do this video. But let's go back to verse 1. I say, "My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation." And again, it goes to show that when they come to serve the Lord, it prepares your soul for temptation. Prepare for that fight, because you have to be found worthy, you have to be found acceptable, and there are things that are going to try it, things that will come to try it, to endure, to see if you're being sound of faith, to see if you endure unto the end, right? Let me just bring our next precept here quick. Let me go to the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 12, verse 13. It says, let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep his commandments, for this is a whole duty of man. And that is how it's supposed to be, right? And doing these things, obviously, in this wicked society, in this wicked world, things would be against us, and we would be against it, and we would be going through a fight. So we would have to pray, right? Endure, keep that faith, patience. There are many things that are written in the scriptures that a man of the Lord is supposed to have, right? I'll now mention a few, and there are plenty other more, right? Let me see if I get this other scripture here. Let's see if I get a scripture here. The book of Ecclesiastes. This is the book of Ecclesiastes chapter 9, verse 11. It says, "I return and saw under the sun that the race is not to the swift, nor to the battle to the strong, neither yet bread to the wise, nor yet riches to men of understanding, nor yet favor of men skill, but time and chance happen unto all." Right? So the race is not for the swift, right? We got another one here. Right, no matter of fact, let's go back to the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 2, and verse 2. It says, set thine heart aright, and constantly endure, and make not haste in the time of trouble. Right, and when the time of trouble come upon you, don't make haste. Just know what you have to do. Pray. Right, because you may be talking to some people, and when they be going through a lot of stuff, and if you ask them to pray, they might watch you with a scornful face. They might say, what is he talking about? What is he trying to say? Pray to who? Right? But for us, we have to pray. Right? We have to endure. It say, verse 3, it say, cleave unto him, and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end. And it say, cleave unto him, and depart not away. Right? It say, verse 4, whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a low estate. Right? So whatever it is coming your way, take it cheerfully. That is why you constantly hear brothers saying, when in time of adversity, in a time of trouble, in a time of whatever affliction they may be going through, laugh. Sometimes it might hit you so hard you might cry, but at the end of the day, to continue to endure. Right? Continue to trust in the Lord. Don't give up. Like I say, cleave unto him and depart not away. And I would say, whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully. Yeah, take it cheerfully. You're not going and always go to you're not always going and go through good times. You have to go through the hard times as well, right? So let's talk about seeking the Lord 10 times more. And I say, and be patient when thou art changed to a lower state. Yeah, just be patient, because that is just for a short period of time. Especially in the society that we're in. We don't want to be in no rich state here, or how to put it fair, no high state, right? We want that in the kingdom to come. Christianity, in other words, like for example, this is a video that come from a page called Talk Church. I've done a couple of videos, and I've some other videos to do on some of the things coming from this page. But if you ask these people who be on these pages, these Christians, about the Lord, they will always tell you everything will be good. Everything will be good. And if you're going through bad times, it's Satan and all these other things, how did this be? Right? Just know, when thou art changed to a lower state, just be patient. Take it cheerfully, right? Because in that lower state, there's no yet to go. Just continue doing what he's been doing and trusting in the Lord, right? It says verse 5. It says, for gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. Yes, so that is how acceptable men will be found out, through the furnace of what? Of adversity. You don't know a man in the good times. You know a man in the bad times. Right? I believe even in the book of Surah, I'll tell you that. Right? And that is why it says, for gold is tried in the fire, right? And acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. And that is how acceptable men, matter of fact, that is how you're going to be acceptable, passing through that adversity. It's the same way a job might, they'll pay you through a trial, a test, and to see if it be found worthy to work for that place. It's the same thing if you want to consider yourself a man of the Lord. He is going to be put through trials, tribulation, adversity, hardship, and you would lose things, Scriptures talk about denying yourself, right? Romans 12 tell about making yourself that living sacrifice, right? And all these things, right? Because why? You want to be accepted. You want to be one of those acceptable men, right? They say, an acceptable man in the furnace of adversity. They say, believe in him and he will help thee, right? Just as he's saying, when he started to pray, things had to work out, right? You can see the tears in the eye and so forth. And it goes to show that way it says, believe in him and he will help thee, right? It says, order thy way aright and trust in him. And who is the him? the Lord, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, right? So we have to believe in him, and we have to believe, not just say, but believe. You say scriptures talk about, just to say, not being hearers alone, but doers also, but being doers also, right? And it goes to show that if you believe in him, you could do the work, right? You can't say you believe in something and you're not doing what is said to be done in whom you believe in, right? So you say believe in him and he will help thee and order thy way aright and trust in him. And that goes back to some things I was saying earlier, right? You say, ye that fear the Lord, wait for his mercy and go not aside lest he fall. Right? You say, ye that fear the Lord, wait for his mercy. Wait. That patience you're supposed to have. It goes to show that you're supposed to, certain qualities, certain characteristics you're supposed to have as a man of the Lord. And we read, the more you read in the scriptures, the more you see it. Being charitable, faith, mercy, trust, right? And many other things. It say, ye that fear the Lord, believe in him, and your reward shall not fail. Yeah, and our reward shall not fail. Right? We count the things we lost as dung. Right? Just so we could gain who? The Lord. Right? So yeah, we would be faced hardships, but we are to continue, as the scripture say, believe in him and he will help thee. Yeah, the Lord will help us. That is where our trust is. We know we're not going to help in this place. Right? It's the same way we are against this place is against us. Right? So who it is we are to trust in, who it is believe in, is the Lord. Right? And we know with our faith that we know he would help us. Right? They say, ye that fear the Lord, believe in him, and your reward shall not fail. Ye that fear the Lord, hope for good and for everlasting joy and mercy. Right? And that is where it is. Right? So we know where to continue to trust, continue to pray, fast, and many other things that to do. Right? Keeping yourself in that order. And the Lord will always be there for you. Right? That way it's and go not aside lest he fall. Yeah, don't go aside. Don't go aside. Continue on that righteous path. Right? Continue on that righteous path. And that path is narrow. And it's dangerous set on the both sides. Right? So it goes to show that this journey is not going to be how do you say it? A walk in the park. Right? This journey is not like eating cake and not sweet. Right? So hey, once again I want to give all praises, honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kakodash. We say the man's apostle and elders, agreements and ruler teachers of personal truth. And we say salutations to the icons to the push with no truth and sincerity, day in and day out and constantly in season or season. We say Shalom.